second update I want to give you is last Sunday, we got to have a long, extended conversation about Hamilton Road. And if you're new to our church, you are actually in a venue that we had no plans of renovating into our very own space that you're sitting in right now. And we're so grateful for the faithfulness of God. But the vast majority of our time together as a church, we've been a church without walls, literally. We have not had a building until this building a little over a year ago became our own. And right when it became our own, it was like too small, week one. And so we were already dreaming about the future. And right now, where things stand, 2020 has been a year all over the place as we prepare to break ground on Hamilton Road. And I got in front of you last week. If you missed that gathering, you need to watch it, because I talked for about 10 minutes about here's what happened this year, and here's what we're looking toward next year. But the reality is, especially with the good news about the vaccine getting FDA approved, we believe that there is a post-COVID era in our country that's going to come. And we believe, you can clap for that, because I'm actually super excited about it. Some of you are like, well, I don't know if it's safe. I don't have all the, yeah, we know things have to get figured out, but we're believing that God's going to be faithful, and there is going to be a day where the church is gathered again as the post-COVID-19 church. And when that happens, I don't want to say we're in trouble, but we're in need, because there is no way that this room can house the number of people who now call this church home, especially after what God has started to do online through our church. And so we got that land off Hamilton Road, and there was about $228,000 of outstanding debt sitting on it that we wanted to pay off at the beginning of this month without touching our cash reserves that are set aside to build a building out there. And we're so close, y'all. Like, we are so close to being able to break ground out there. We can feel it, and we're praying toward it. We're marching, but we're not sprinting toward building a building out there. So I got in front of you last Sunday, and I said, listen, we want to pay this off this week, $228,000. That's what we're given toward. And in typical Auburn Community Church fashion, you guys did not meet the goal. You more than doubled the goal. More than double. Amazing. More than double. How many of you know sometimes the miracle that you're praying for isn't even half of what God is dreaming about? How many of you know that if you could see the thoughts of God over your life today, you would actually freak out about what His capacity is in and through your life? I'm so excited about this, but I want to be honest with you. If it sounds like that's sort of an end game goal, it's not. We put that as the first Sunday in December for a reason. The reality is things have changed in the construction world, and things have changed about what exactly we want to build off of Hamilton Road. And so we are still a lengthy ways away from being financially able to break ground off of Hamilton Road. And so here's what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you in December to think about giving a gift toward a building fund. Nobody gets excited about that. I'm asking you to pray, maybe individually, maybe together with your spouse, maybe as a family, about whether or not God's calling you to give a gift of generosity, to sow a seed into the life of our church. The question is not, do we need a building? We know we need a building. The question is, do you believe in what God is doing here? And do you believe that what's happened in your family needs to happen in other families, and that we need to extend and expand what God is doing in the life of this church? If that's the case, pray about it and give cheerfully. But this is not about compulsion, and this is not about we have to do this. No, we'll figure out a way to do church no matter what. We feel like this is us being faithful with the resources God has entrusted to us. And the great thing is, the more you give and the more we're able to expand, the more we are able to bless others all around the world and in our own local community. And if I could show you on that screen what we have been able to do in 2020 through your generosity, it would blow your mind, and it would be too much for one gathering. So let's continue to be a generous church. We're believing big things over the course of this month, and I'm just asking you, would you pray about an end-of-year gift to Auburn Community Church if you've been impacted by our faith family?